Good morning. My name is Do Chong Cheng and I come from Nanyang Technological University. I hope to be able to apply an internship in your prestigious multinational petrochemical company. For the question, describe an academic crisis in which I faced and how I overcame it. I remember vividly during my junior college days where we had to take a lot of A-level examinations, and one particular subject which I had most trouble in doing it was the general paper, which was called GP. My GP was always failing or just pass, and it was very hard for me to climb up in terms of marks because I believe that GP was actually an innate skill and you have to keep on practicing it in order to score well. So I sought a lot of help from my teachers. My general paper teacher, Miss Fernandez, helped me a lot in practicing for my A levels because I was almost failing or failing nearing the A levels in my general paper. So with determination and hard work, I did my best and I kept on practicing whatever she taught me and whatever she told me, even though I initially didn't quite understood it first. I just went home and practiced day and night, practiced really hard in order to improve, even if it's a slight amount. I also sought help from my friends who had a lot of summary practices, and I borrowed their summary notes to photocopy and also practice after asking for their help. And eventually, after persevering and having such determination, I eventually scored a B for my GP during A levels, and I was quite satisfied because I really put in hard work because I actually rose from an E to a B grade. For the second question, describe a stressful situation I have experienced and how I cope. I remember there was one experience during my National Army days, national service, in which I had to be the leader in this section called damage control. It was actually located in MINDEF, and my job scope was to plan and to solve any problems involving MINDEF. So there was one morning in which I was on duty. It was a heavy downpour, and around 3 to 4 a.m., the rain was getting bigger, and eventually it caused a landslide and a big tree to fall onto the fence line, and it actually breached the fence line. So at the point of time, I was actually having my break because I worked very hard in the morning and in the night. So my junior actually saw it in the camera and actually woke me up, and I was actually shocked to hear the news. I went around trying to search for any more superiors, and there were not much superiors left. The only superiors left were my sergeant and my duty officer, and all of them didn't know how to resolve such a situation because they are not from damage control. And I was actually the highest in command in terms of damage control that that day. So the responsibility fell upon my arms, my shoulders, in order to solve this situation ASAP, as soon as possible. So I really felt stressed out because I just woke up from my break, and it was the first time that I was actually solving such a major real crisis. And I immediately tried to formulate a plan, a strategy, and I discussed it with my sergeant so that he can approve of my plans, and so he helped me double check, and then we went on with the plan. I immediately sent like 2 men to guard the breach hole, and I also sent people to go and check on the men working around that area to ensure that their safety and health are not compromised. So I mainly informed all of the contractors who are involved in repairing this major problem, and we eventually successfully solved it 2 or 3 hours later. However, it wasn't really solved because all I could do was to alleviate the problem, because by then the landslide had already covered the whole road, the whole pavement, so cars would not be able to drive up the hill. So fortunately for me, I planned out way early so that the contractors already cleaned most of the dirt in the road, so the vehicles were able to climb up the hill in the morning. It was really stressful for me because that was the first time I actually solved such a major crisis, and there were no higher ups who were there to really approve my strategy to solve the situation. However, I focused. How did I cope with the stress? I actually tried to put focus onto solving the situation wholeheartedly, so that I would not bother about what happens if the thing is not solved properly. I didn't even think about that. I tried to focus 100% onto how to solve the problem and how to take care of the follow-up situations. And that was how I coped with the stress. After the situation, after I reflected back, then I saw how stressful and how nervous one would have been if he realized it during that point of time. So because I was able to take up leadership skills and focus wholeheartedly on solving the problems without caring for anything else, I actually managed to cope with the stress and solve the situation nicely, because in the end my superiors who arrived on the scene commended me for having such a well thought plan. Yes. And I hope that with these skill sets which I have acquired throughout my younger days, I hope that I am able to provide more insights into your petrochemical company, and as well as to learn many different skill sets from your company because of the vast experience inside your workforce. And I sincerely hope that I can join your company for an internship, as I believe that I can add some value to your company, as well as you giving me more value. Thank you very much. I really hope that I can join this internship. Thank you.